Hi, I'm Chef Lacy Larsen, and today I'm going to show you a super easy way to make 3 different meals out of one pot pulled chicken. So this is going to make a really tender, juicy, shredded chicken breast that you can feed your family 3 different meals out of by just making this one pot of chicken. So you can use a crock pot, you could use an Instapot, you could even do it on the stovetop. I recommend the crock pot just because it's something that I think more people just have on hand, and it's really easy. So what I have is 4 very large chicken breasts. So you could, if you have a big family, you could easily make more. If you wanted to even fill the crock pot, you could. It will definitely take a little bit longer to cook. The trick is putting just enough liquid to where the meat can simmer without actually becoming like a soup, right? You just want it to cook in more of its own juices, but you need a little bit of liquid to keep it nice and juicy. So I'm just gonna drizzle, and I know you can't see this, but I'm just gonna put enough water to cover it about halfway. I haven't even completely covered the chicken. Salt and pepper is key. It's gonna make sure that that meat's nice and flavorful. So I'm gonna put a nice hearty pinch of salt and some pepper. Now, if you wanted to do this before work in the morning, you could just put this on low and let it go throughout the day and be perfectly fine. If you're doing this in the evening and you want to use it for dinner that night, then I would definitely turn it on high. It's going to get done a lot faster. It'll be about an hour and a half or so. So let's get this chicken going, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what you can do. Okay, so now that my chicken is completely cooked and fork tender, and this did end up taking about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I recommend, if you're looking to speed up the process, just take the chicken breast pieces and cut them into smaller strips, or you can even fillet them down the center, and they'll cook a little faster that way for you. So what I'm gonna do right now, I've pulled them out of the crock pot, and there was a little bit of juice left in, but it was still not soupy at all. And so the best way to take chicken breast and make pulled chicken is I like to just use 2 forks, and I'll kind of spear one piece of meat and then pull the meat away with the other fork. And if it's tender enough, it should shred pretty easily for you. So as you can see, I've got a lot of pulled chicken to work with for the week. So I'm gonna show you 3 different meals on ways to season this and use it throughout the week. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna grab the rest of my ingredients and then we'll go from there.
I'm Lisa Davis, a member of Local 16 out of Portland, Oregon, and an HVACR and TAB specialist for the International Training Institute. On Saturday, March 13th from 4 to 6 p.m., we'd like to invite you to the first of its kind Smart Women's Happy Hour. During our happy hour, we'll hear from smart leaders and engage in educational and team-building exercises in a fun and supportive environment. You'll also meet fellow smart sisters from across the United States and Canada. Throughout the week, we'll be fundraising for Tools and Tiaras, a fantastic organization that introduces young girls and women to working with construction tools and empowering them for life. You'll also be able to hear about new developments and progress made by and for sisters in the sheet metal trade and transportation industry, along with new announcements for Women in Construction Week participants. Make sure you sign up for happy hour at the link, and I hope to see you there.
Okay, so the first dish that I'm gonna make with my pulled chicken is tacos, for chicken tacos. So I'm just gonna take a couple handfuls of chicken. I like to use a kind of a mixture of taco seasoning if I don't feel like doing a lot of thinking and grabbing a bunch of spices out of the cupboard. This stuff's pretty potent, so I usually just use like half a packet depending on how much I have. And then I like to add some of your just traditional like standard cantina salsa. It keeps it nice and juicy and gives it a little bit more flavor. So I'm just gonna toss my chicken in the seasoning and salsa. Okay. So then I would warm this up on the stove, and really all you need to have are some flour tortillas, lettuce, tomatoes, and of course, every good taco has cheese on it. So, basic taco building, everyone knows how to do this, right? I'm just gonna put a nice little handful of chicken. And even this size, I mean, I probably used less than 2 cups of chicken. I've got 3 tacos here. You could easily make, you know, 10 of these. It all depends on how much you're looking to feed. So plenty of cheese. Some lettuce. I like to use romaine. It's a kind of a sneaky little way to pack in more vitamins and minerals into a taco rather than using iceberg lettuce, which fortunately has very little nutritional value, though it does have a lot of fiber. Chopped tomatoes. You could throw black olives, cilantro, chopped onions. I'm keeping these pretty simple. And then easy side, some refried beans. Spanish rice comes together pretty quickly, but you know, this is super easy. Who doesn't love taco night, right? Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna make with my pulled chicken is super easy bow tie Alfredo pasta bake. So this is just a 1-pot deal. I've got cooked bow tie pasta. You could use penne, you can use traditional fettuccine if you wanna do more of like a chicken Alfredo with fettuccine. I like bow tie pasta with chicken because I feel like every bite you just get a little bit of both. So I have my pasta. I'm actually just using a jar of standard Alfredo sauce from the store. I'm just gonna pour that over the top. You could also make your own Alfredo, but if you're looking to save time, this stuff's pretty reliable and way less time. So then I'm going to top the pasta with some of my pulled chicken. Super easy. Okay. And then, of course, some shredded mozzarella cheese on top. You could add some parm to this if you have some Romano in the fridge. You could even do cheddar. Everyone loves cheddar. So, the last little tip is I like to add chopped parsley to as many things as I can. Not only is it also a great sneaky way to get some iron and other nice vitamins and minerals into your kids, but it's just like grab a bunch when you're at the grocery store and you have it for so many different dishes. So this is ready to go in the oven. You're gonna put foil over the top and bake it at 350 for 30 minutes or until it's bubbly. And then I like at the very end to take the foil off and just let it go for maybe another 5 minutes just so it gets nice and brown. But this is ready to go. Serve it with a salad. You could serve it with any kind of green vegetable that you have, some glazed carrots, but super easy.
Join us in connecting with other sisters in SMART by painting a rock with empowering words and trading it with another SMART sister. Once you receive your rock, please post it on all social media. #SmartWomenRocks. If you do not know another SMART sister, please join us for happy hour on March 13th so we can connect you with another SMART sister.
Okay, so the last dish I'm gonna show you how to make are barbecue chicken sliders with easy coleslaw. I have bought the pre-shredded cabbage and carrots from the store. It literally tastes the same. You can buy a head of cabbage and cut it up if you like, but this is really easy and a time saver and pretty much find it at any grocery store. I am gonna show you how to make the world's easiest coleslaw dressing. So I start with 2/3 a cup of mayonnaise. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, some pepper, and most coleslaw dressings just need a little bit of sugar to give it that, like that's what makes coleslaw good, right? Is that sweet, creamy flavor. So I'm gonna put just a couple tablespoons of sugar in. I have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And look, I found another way to sneak parsley into something. So I'm gonna add a little pinch of that chopped parsley that I have from when I made my Alfredo. So you're just gonna stir this together. You can use a fork, a whisk. I'm all about simple, so I'm just going with a spoon. Make sure everything is thoroughly combined. You wanna make sure that the sugar, you don't want granules in it. And so when you're adding sugar to anything that's liquidy, you kind of have to stir it more than you think to make sure it's completely dissolved. And it'll start to take on like that sort of coleslaw dressing. You know, it's different than mayonnaise. It's got like, just more like a salad dressing. So once I get that mixed up, I'm gonna just add it to my bag of coleslaw mix. Give it a stir. If you wanted to add other fun stuff to this coleslaw, you certainly could. Sometimes I like to put pumpkin seeds, red onions, green onions, if your kids like onions. I personally like to add onions to almost everything, but it's absolutely not necessary. So here is my coleslaw. And that is ready for dinner. So I'm just gonna put this aside and I'm gonna show you how to make the easy barbecue chicken sliders. Okay, so I am a huge fan of Hawaiian rolls when it comes to sliders. So I have some of those on hand. I also have some barbecue sauce. I like to use Kansas City barbecue sauce, but there are so many amazing barbecue sauces on the shelf at this point that you could really pick about anything. All right, so I've got my chicken, I'm gonna add my barbecue sauce. Okay. Just make sure that's nice and mixed in. All right. And on this one, I tend to kind of try to make the chicken just even a little bit more shredded because you want like a lot of barbecue sauce to every bite, in my opinion. So I kind of shred it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside and show you my favorite thing about these Hawaiian rolls is that they come and they're all together. I'm just gonna grab my bread knife. So you can take a nice serrated bread knife and basically one cut down the middle of this entire package of rolls. Be careful not to cut yourself, but as you can see, my knife's just kind of gliding through these. All right, I can open it up. And I basically have like a huge sandwich surface. This makes building the sliders just that much more easy. So if you wanted to, you could toast this bread in the oven before you build these. Just a low broil will get it nice and toasty. Absolutely not necessary. After you've tossed your chicken, of course, I would have heated this before I put it onto the sandwiches, unless cold barbecue chicken sandwiches are your thing. Sometimes cold chicken can be good. Okay, so once I've built my sliders, I'm just gonna put the top back on. And the crazy thing is that these are actually pretty darn easy to pull apart. Well, not as easy as I'd hoped. So I am gonna actually take a little knife and run it through here. Some of those pieces of chicken you can't tear, but it did make the building part just a bit more simple. And then once you cut them up, these are so ready to go. All right, I mean, look at that. That looks amazing. So I have shown you today 3 different ways to use pulled chicken. Chicken Alfredo bake, chicken taco night, barbecue chicken sliders. I hope that all of these lessons have saved you some time.